Yo, what up? It's your boy Kid Fresh up in this thing, boom banging out the frame. Happy summer to you. Hope y'all having a great summer. If you're on that Instagram and Twitter, make sure you find me at KidFresh937. My YouTube page, KidFresh937. Make sure you subscribe to that. Right about now, it ain't about me. It's about my partner right here, BCereus.
What's going on, Fresh?
Money Mafia in the building.
Real Money Mafia. My guy.
Now, you know, what you been working on, dog? I know you always in the lab putting in that work.
Always in the lab. My album's about to drop. Rags to Riches Volume 2, The Midnight Society.
Okay.
Which you're going to be hosting.
Yes, sir.
I just dropped a single with Dawn Reed's son, KIDFRESH.
Got that whole pure seduction all up in your mouth.
It's called Where We Go. It's going crazy. It's on crazy blogs right now. Take a look out. Download it, stream it, do whatever you got to do. I'm also working on some things with Pandora. They go on Pandora with my 2 tracks Like This and Common Mark Swag. So I'm always working.
Now, you've been in this game for a minute, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say you know veteran, you know what I'm saying? You know, but you've been in the game for a minute.
Right.
You know, rags to riches. You know, what have you learned about the business, not only as an artist, but, you know, behind the scenes and the business side of everything?
Nobody's gonna look out for you like you. And you gotta invest in yourself, and you gotta protect all your assets. You gotta do copyrights, and you gotta network. And
Talk to him.
And it's like something Prime I said before. You want to know how the whole game works. You just don't want the watch. You want to know what makes the watch tick. And that's basically what I've been soaking up. You know, Divers helped me out with that a lot. You've helped me out with that a lot.
Sure.
And just a whole bunch of people in the game have really, really looked out. So.
Now, this brings me to my next point. Now, I know you down with the Money Mafia, the real Money Mafia. You know what I'm saying? And I understand you got some issues with a good friend of mine from back in the day, Master P and his Money Mafia. Now, won't you break it down for everybody and let everybody know what's going on with that particular situation?
Well, if you're not familiar with my crew, is Money Mafia. The CEO of Money Mafia is Frankie Prada.
Okay.
Frankie Prada is part of Drew Prop's group, GPK, which is obviously a part of Coke Boys, et cetera, that whole line. So Prada started this group in 2011 called Money Mafia. It's me, Most Hated Sin, Sedek. It's a whole bunch of independent artists that were on the grind. We came together to make something.
Okay.
That was in 2011. I want to say, was it the end or beginning of this year? I want to say. People started hitting us up, talking about this another Money Mafia. And come to find out, the Money Mafia was made by none other than Master P himself.
Okay.
So, you know, we did some digging. We tried to wait it out, see what was really going on. I mean, some of the other members did some interviews. I really, really wanted to wait.
Okay.
And see what transpired. And I'm glad I did, because come to find out, it stemmed from Mano. Mano had a group called The Mafia. Do your research. This is all legit. Called The Mafia. He used our symbol, our whole tag, our symbol, everything, called The Mafia. He took out the money and just made The Mafia. But in our symbol, we got a puppet hand with strings. He had that on his The Mafia logo. He was on doing an interview with Sway.
Okay.
P came on that interview later. A week later, there's no more The Mafia, but P got a group called Money Mafia.
Oh.
So what I'm thinking is, I can only go by what I see. What I'm thinking is, you guys talked, told him where you got it from, et cetera, kumbaya. Next thing you know, P got something called the Money Mafia. And I know he knows we exist, because you can't Google Money Mafia without us popping up. And literally a couple days ago, Blogs is hitting us up. He just dropped 2 tracks. One is called, I'm gonna give you some shine. One is called Social Media something, and another called We Won't Stop. And Blogs is tagging us in your tracks, asking what we're gonna do about it. And I know you see the blogs.
Wow.
Come on, P.
Now, I mean, I've known P for a long time. You know, I'm from the South, you know what I'm saying? I knew the Tank when the Tank was on the come up, you know what I'm saying? And when you first brought it to my attention, my first reaction was, well, maybe P don't really know about your version of the Money Mafia up here in Connecticut.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because P don't make it up here, you know, too often.
Exactly.
You know, but then you told me that you did your research and you're pretty sure, you're not 100% sure, but you're pretty sure that P knows now about the Money Mafia up in Connecticut.
If you didn't know before, you know now. Like, it's just too many coincidences that fall into place.
Right.
You know what I mean? For you to not to know it. He probably shrugged it off like, oh, some whatever East Coast niggas, and obviously you're bred long, you a vet in the game. I fuck with your shit.
Mm-hmm.
But you know we exist and you're ignoring it. And that's not gonna fly.
Well, P, if he's watching this, holla at your folks. Let's sit down and chop it up. Cause like I said, I've known P a long time. And I can honestly sit here and tell you, with my dealings with P, he always handles business.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So I don't know, I can't sit here and say he knows this, he knows that, or he's doing this on purpose. I don't know, because I haven't had a chance to sit down and chop it up with P. But, hopefully with this interview and the momentum that you've been building, he'll reach out, and, hopefully one day in the near future, we can all sit down and chop it up and just come to a medium.
Come to a medium, a phone call, because I know Prada's copyrighted everything. I know that for a fact. So, and like you said, P's a businessman, so let's just handle some business.
Handle business.
You know what I mean?
Speaking of, now, you said you're working on Rags to Riches too.
Yep.
When is there a date?
It should be out the end of next month.
Okay.
And the reason, may he rest in peace, R.I.P. Chinks Drugs, the reason I held off on it, because I was unsure if I wanted to put the track with Chinks on it. Because I know everybody's throwing it out. I didn't want it to get caught up in the shuffle. I got a I'm a Lean remix.
Okay.
That's gonna happen with I worked on with Diba. Diba was the original.
Okay.
And I'm actually gonna hold that off to the next project.
Well, I can say, now you probably know Chinks more than I do, but the few times that I've interviewed and chopped it up with Chinks, he's the type of dude, he would want his music to live on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Celebrate his life.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? We gonna all mourn his death. We ain't gonna never forget him, but I know Chinks, he would want his music to live on.
Absolutely.
He lived his life through his music.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So if you got a hot track with Chinks, maybe the audience need to hear it. You know what I'm saying?
They just dropped the single. They just dropped the single not that long ago. Another Chinks song.
Yes.
So it might be on this one. Regardless,
We'll have to wait and see.
You're gonna have to wait and see. But it will be dropping next month. Rags to Riches, the Midnight Society is gonna have Primex on there. It's gonna have Diba on there. It's gonna have PYD Fresh on there. It's gonna have Drew Pop. It's gonna have Cheese. It's gonna have Brock. It's gonna be some other Connecticut artists. I just bumped into Chris Webby. Who knows what happened?
Shout out Chris Webby doing his thing.
Chris Webby. You know what I'm saying? So definitely be on the lookout. It's gonna be a much more grittier, lyrically inclined tape than the last one.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Now, people that's watching it and want to get in contact with you, how they get in contact with you?
You can hit me up on Facebook, Be Serious, just type in Be Serious. Twitter, @TheRealBeSerious. Instagram, @TheRealBeSerious. Vlad TV, Be Serious. YouTube, The Real Be Serious. I mean,
You get the idea.
Google Play, Be Serious. iTunes, Be Serious.
See, that's smart.
Amazon
Keep
MP3,
everything simple.
Be Serious. You know what I'm saying?
Now, before we get up out of here, I know you want to shout your crew out, show them some love.
Shout out to the whole Money Mafia crew, Frankie Prada, Sadiq Warner, Sin. Shout out Sky. Shout out all my Coke Boy niggas, all the Coke Boys that show me love. Drew, Brock. Shout out everybody that fuck with your boy, you know what I mean? Like,
For sure.
yo, I'm here, I'm working. You know what it is.
It's all love, baby. I love chopping it up with you.
Absolutely.
One thing about Be Serious, he always got a lot to say. The boy knows his business inside and out. And like I tell you all the time, it's more to this game than just talent. You got to have your business. You got to have all your eggs and roll. You know what I'm saying? Everything got to be intact. So keep handling your business, putting in that work. Talk to my man Be Serious, that whole Money Mafia.
Fresh,
and
man.
before we get up out of here, P, if you listening, if you watching this, reach out and chop it up with your boys, dog, all right?
Phone call, man.
Holla at your folks, all right?